And ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of night. Welcome to the Wrestling Zero Open Doors pre-show, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Ungerton Bungerton Bundaberg III, and don't forget that, sir. And I'm joined by the Kami herself in a different mask this time, because the other one broke.
Hello.
It's Izanami. Izanami's here. Magic. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're opening up the pre-show for what will be the biggest PLE in this industry's history. First time that the two biggest promotions in the country will clash to decide who is the bigger company, the best of all time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be joined by a slew of stars tonight before the event goes live for your entertainment. Tonight we're going to have a slew of BWDU stars. We're going to have a slew of Wrestling Zero stars. We're going to have the world on fire with this one. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to start things off, I think it's only appropriate that we begin it the right way. So without further ado, we're going to recap the entire situation that has gone on in the past few weeks, ladies and gentlemen. So if you bear with us, we're now going to give you the chance to view the situation that has occurred in Wrestling Zero. You know, we've had a tumultuous system when it comes to it. Izanami's just getting a call from Hideo. As always, Hideo Utai has been throwing hands verbally with us, trying to get this scuffed pre-show going. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to watch back on the week that has been the draft. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about the draft. Izanami and I were there to commentate for the draft. The draft picks were insane. I mean, we had a multiple slew of stars going through. I mean, Ace Reed going to PXW and then getting surprise traded to Stampede. You can thank me, Ace, for that. And ladies and gentlemen, it has been an insane past few weeks, months even. You know, we saw Yoshimatsu Matsuda return at PXW 106. We were right there to commentate for it, and it was an insane event. Came back to save Jay Ryan, and Jay Ryan obviously opened up the first episode of the draft with one of the most violent pipe bombs in the industry. I mean, not even Yoshi's pipe bomb against Ace Reed was that crazy. But ladies and gentlemen, while we're here, I think it's only fitting that we talk about Jay Ryan.
Yeah.
Jay Ryan's retiring as of the end of the show. Tonight will be his last match, his last documented contest. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is our honor and our privilege to say thank you to Jay Ryan for doing everything you have done over the past few years. You've worked so hard, you've given us the honor of commentating your matches and being a part of your story. Now, Jay has been on a rise since he became Wrestling Zero champion, beating Yoshi in what was an amazing story finish. And it really showed that you can really do anything if you put your mind to it. He quelled the evil Oyabun, and then the Oyabun came back. Well, Shogun saved his butt. As Izanami knew, we don't know Yoshi's motives at the moment, but hopefully tonight at Open Doors we might see something. I have heard that Yoshi is in the arena tonight. Yoshi will be present for the event, so we're going to find out if Yoshi's actually going to compete tonight. I'm really hoping. The match card's something exciting. I don't think you're going to want to miss the potential match card that's going to be. The match card is stacked tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, there is some insane matches on tonight's card, and we will definitely talk about them in the coming moments. I mean, there is a slew of matches that is coming for us tonight, and I want to be able to talk again about Jay Ryan's retirement tonight. You know, Jay really pushed as hard as he could to become one of the best stars in the company's history. He, you know, rose above everything that held him down. I mean, him and Yoshi had a classic rivalry, didn't they, Izanami?
Yeah, they did.
I mean, you can't really reteach that. You can't relive that in public. I mean, that entire story of Jay coming in, winning the title off what was supposed to be a career-ending villain threat, that's something that's going to go down in history as one of the greatest underdog wins in grassroots pro wrestling. I mean, the man quelled the evil Oyabun. And, ladies and gentlemen, it's his last match. It's his last time ever being in Wrestling Zero. I think it's time. The me and his Anami give the floor to the man himself, and we give him the stage.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us as our first guest for the Open Doors pre-show, the Wrestling Zero champion, Jay fucking Ryan. Jay, welcome on. Thank you for coming.
No worries. I just really saw. Unfortunately, there's a lot going on in the background, and we'll speak about that later.
Indeed.
But I'm glad to be here.
And we're glad to have you, man. I mean, this is going to be what is your final match in the industry. I mean, let's talk about that. You came in, won the Wrestling Zero Championship off Yoshi at Revolution, finished your story after 2.5 years of hard work. I mean, you're the second Grand Slam champion in the company's history, one of the few to become a Triple Crown. When it comes to the mid-card titles, when it comes to the tag titles, you have really shown that there is no limit for the Prince of Destruction. Now, Jay, my question for you now is, how are you feeling going into this contest? You've pushed as hard as you can. You're at this position in your career where you've had to abruptly halt your competition. Talk to me about that. Tell us about how you feel and how what's going through your mind.
Look, we won't talk about finishing my story. It's
Indeed.
not finished yet. The chapter's not end. Open Doors is going to be where the chapter ends of Jay Ryan, but it's not just going to end in okay, Jay's going to win, Ace is going to lose. So if it's okay with you, I've actually got a request for this match.
Of course.
A big request. For my last match, I don't want it to be a normal match. No. This is going to, either way, I'm going to go. I'm leaving the company, not leaving the company, but I'm leaving in-ring action. So I would like tonight to be spectacular. I would like to be Ace Reed, Jay Ryan, shows that what the very best is. To show that
Indeed.
Ace Reed showing that why he's on that Mount Rushmore of, Australia, and Jay Ryan that he can stand with the best. And there's only one way to do that.
Yep.
No DQ, no disqualification, no nothing like that. Weapons on the table, show what they can do. We can do just with anything in the arena. No
Indeed.
holds bar.
Well, Jay, you've made the call, and we're going to make it official right here for the final time. Tonight at Wrestling Zero BWDU Open Doors, presented by Dubby, presented by Sportswire Radio, presented by Battleground Holdings, you will get your match. No holds barred, Ace Reed, Jay Ryan, Wrestling Zero Championship one last time. Now, Jay, we need to talk about Ace. Obviously, you've had a tumultuous history with Ace Reed, obviously, between the realm stuff, when you had your little moment, and then obviously the matches you've had with him and the instant classic you had at Final Showdown, the amazing work you two have put into this industry. Tell me about what you think Ace is thinking going into this match.
Look, I think Ace is underestimating me. He's beaten me, twice?
Yep.
He's beaten me twice. I'm not going to take that for granted. BWDU's 1 year and the Final Showdown, as you said.
Yep.
Here's the thing about that. He talks about how he's leveled up, he's gotten better, he's done all this. But he's not the only one that's leveled up. Week in, week out, we see me on the screen. Nearly every single card, basically every single card since Revolution, I've stepped in the ring. Whether it's my old gear, whether it's a formal wear, whether it's, me hurt, where it's me, rain, sun, whatever it is. I've stepped in the ring every chance I get, and that's the thing he needs to understand, that I've gone through the amounts of getting attacked and getting jumped. I got jumped how many weeks in a row right before Revolution?
We did see that, and we do need to talk about that in a moment. Obviously, that situation we will address before we let you go to prepare for the show. But let's talk about the implications of this match, It being your last contest, it being your last chance to show you can stand with the best. Obviously, Wrestling Zero titles on the line, your career's ending as of this show. Like, how does it feel knowing that you've got a lot of weight on your shoulders going into this match, and Ace is going in with the weight of his own company? This is Zero versus BWDU. This is the first of its kind in the country's history. How are you feeling with that weight?
Um, See, everyone talks about it being weight. Everyone talks about, it being weight on my shoulders, but this is my last match. I can pull out whatever move I want to pull out. I could pull out any holster and not worry about the damage that's going to happen after this, because I'm going to be retired.
True.
What's going to happen? My body's going to be sore. It's going to be busted. Yeah, I'm retired after this. I don't have to show up. I don't have to make sure I've got to show up for the next show. So I can pull out any and all stops, whether it's, say I do a tope off the rope, or you know I pull out some stuff that's never seen by me. Yeah, it is weight thinking that this is Ace Reed. This is a person that's beaten me twice, that's beaten Matsuda, that's got against Striker, that's done all of this. But also at the same time, this is a mindset of, I got attacked maliciously right before Revolution with Rob Ryan and Hamadar and all of that. And I still walk into Revolution with the mindset, I can do this. No matter how bad my body gets, I can do this. I will not give in. And I walked out as your new Wrestling Zero champion. So even if I walk out Wrestling Zero champion, even if I lose, I know that I can walk in this and make this the best, the very first, but the very best open doors there'll ever be.
Okay, a great answer, a really great answer. And I'm going to bring this off the screen for a moment while we talk, because obviously we've got a lot to address. Izamami, do you have any questions for our friend here while we've got a moment?
No, not at the moment. Sorry, just randomly disappearing. It's business related.
Ah, it's all good. You got to do what you got to do. She's keeping PXW running while we're talking open doors, ladies and gentlemen. My guest of this time is the Wrestling Zero champion, Jay Ryan. Talking retirement. We're talking going into tonight's show with the weight of the world on his shoulders, but he's not feeling it. He's ready for a fight. He's ready to take out all challengers in his way, namely Ace Reed, and bring home the victory for Zero. Now, Jay, let's talk about the past few weeks. Red Wonder, the CSW World Champion, pinned you clean for the Wrestling Zero Championship, and then brutally ordered Unga Bunga Bundy and Anubis to attack you post-match. And obviously Hideo Utai, our director, has made this decision to nullify his win and remain the belt around your shoulders. Tell me, Jay, how did it feel? Let's be honest, it must have been rough. How are you feeling after those brutal postmaster assaults.
I'm not worried. Everyone wants to talk about the brutal attacks that's happened to me. Nothing hits harder than Yoshi Matsumatsuda. He's a movable object, and I've had to stand face to face with him. I've been taken down. Everyone saw the brutal spears I took for him. If I can stand and take those hits, if I can take Izanagi's hits, I know I'm not saying that I'm invincible. Don't think that anyway. Yeah, I'm sore. I'm angry. But you know what they amount to? Nothing. Red Wonder had to do a pussy move and get his cronies to attack me, which costed him that title. Costed him the chance to actually go, oh, I've won the Wrestling Zero title. And then the fact is, they're attacking me week in. They were attacking me week in, week out. Ungo tried to cash in. Look at how that worked out for him. Anubis tried to have a match with me. Look at how that worked out for him. All these new up and comers think they're a threat to someone that's dealt with what are threats.
Indeed.
Tom Hennigan, Ace Reed, Yoshimatsu Matsuda. Those are the three biggest threats. But each one of those threats, I stand across the ring. And no matter lose or win, everyone seems to want to look back on those type of matches. The tournament matches between me, Matsu, and Tom. There is some great stuff, not just by me, by Tom, by Yoshi Matsuda, that everyone goes, oh, that's cool. I don't see them standing and doing memorable stuff like that. Yeah, Unga Bunga and Bundy, yeah, I'll give him his credit. He's done very good stuff in his career, but the fact is he was doing it while he was doing the right thing.
So, obviously, we've spoken, you've spoken about how you're not affected, you're ready to rise to it, they're not worth your time. Let's talk about the surprise at 106. Let's talk about the man himself. I know it's a hard thing to talk about. I know it's the one thing that's going to piss you off beyond comprehension. But Yoshi returned after 4 months away with silence, absolutely disappeared off the face of the earth. What was your reaction like? Seeing him walk out twice. Let's talk about 106 first. Obviously, appearing at 106 and saving you seemingly from what could have been a career-ending assault.
See, those thoughts, that's where it gets interesting. Because I knew he wasn't back for me. See, everyone, he talked about how he was invincible, how before this he was, someone that couldn't be touched before Revolution.
Yeah.
And the thing is, everyone saw the cracks. The time and time again, I mentioned Faye, and each time, a little bit more part of him started getting enraged. He talked about how he doesn't care about a person, but I saw that look. That look was a person I once knew that I knew was the OGS. And I'm like, I think to myself, even if he was back for me, he can't touch the title, so he'd be back for me. But I was gambling. I gambled on the fact that he wasn't back for me. I gambled on the fact that he wasn't back for the title. I knew I had a 90 to 10%, 90% chance to know what he's back for, and 10% I didn't know.
So I'm going to interrupt you there. Obviously, he gave you the title back. He then walked out, and post-show, You had a conversation with him. Now let's go over what was said. Obviously, you know what he's back for. You obviously have common sense and you know why he's here. We don't. Izanami knows, but she won't tell me. Let's reflect on his final words at the end of 106. Tom Hennigan, Owarida. Now in Japanese, I believe Owarida translates loosely to "it's over" or "game over."
You can say something like that.
Well, Izanami's just said you could say something like that. So I believe he said, Tom Hennigan, it's over. Now, based on my assumptions, after Thunder was over, he came out again to help you out after the gauntlet match, and he looked absolutely insane. I mean, even with one arm, we'll talk about that in a moment. After the show, you walked out with him. He nodded his head to you. You guys walked up to the stage. He said, Yato wa nandemo no. You said Nashi sensei, and sensei I believe is teacher. And Nashi I believe is nothing. So he's obviously asked, from what I'm reading here, he's asked, what are our enemies doing? You have replied with, what sensei? What master? And then he has said something else. And then obviously, as a response, he has said, and I do, pardon me for my coughing there, I do believe he responded with Nashi, which means nothing. So you have, and then you replied with Nashi, and then he went on to, speak some Japanese, saying, he's the shogun and blah, blah, blah. The GOAT, we all know it. Do you think he's back for what I believe I'm suspecting he's back for? You don't say anything because I think our fans need to watch it play out.
But it's obvious. It is way too obvious. I'm not going to say anything much. All I'm going to ask you all is to remember what month it is. I'm not going to say why, remember what month it is, but remember what month it is. There is a reason why he's came back at this particular time. 4 months, and then he comes back right now. See, here's the thing.
This is the confusing thing. Tom Hennigan has shown no signs of being disrespectful towards Kumi's legacy. So I'm trying to understand why Yoshi's... Is this a sense of Yoshi's entitlement to something that Tom Hennigan rightfully earned at decree of her brother?
See, it's interesting you say that. It's interesting, Sir Bunga, you say that. You say that he doesn't disrespect her legacy. Let's take a second and look back at Revolution. Let's look back at what happened between Tom and Yoshimatsu Matsuda. What Tom did. I was so disgusted in what he did because I was so angry he did that. Now, take a second to think. If he wasn't trying to disrespect her legacy, or if he wasn't trying to do that, why would he do what he did? That's why I had to pull Tom away. That's why I said, Tom, get out. Because one, I wanted to end it honorable, but two, that was seeing cracks. That was seeing. I saw what Yoshi Matsuda was in Tom, and I got worried.
Okay, so obviously he hit her with he used her to hit him, and obviously Izanagi post show, I do believe your brother said something about don't end up like him.
Yeah.
You guys are believing that he's showing the signs of becoming the one thing he's fought against. You think it's going to his head a little bit?
I think so. If we look back at the first show, the first Stampede after Revolution, I said in my words that if anything like this happens again, I will be the first to step up. And obviously, that's not through now because I've got to do my own thing and I've got to go away and retire. But it's worrying because we got to see the cheerful Tom
Yeah.
at the end. We got to see the happy Tom. He's won a title. I've won a title. That's what I'm going to say about that. But look at even the match against Ace.
Yeah.
Yeah, he arrives. He raises hell and he destroys and leaves. But he was not. He was mouthy. He was talking shit to Ace. He was showing signs of, all right, I'm better than you without doing it in Tom's way. Tom usually goes, all right, let's end this. Like, let's do this, end this, hit him with a move. 1, 2, 3. No, Tom literally was holding Ace up and was screaming at him, and picks him up and then hits him with the finisher. And
Indeed.
that got concerning for me because I've never seen Tom do stuff like that. I've never seen, but do you know where I've seen that from?
Yoshi. Indeed. And let's
Exactly.
talk about that is really, really interesting. Pardon me again. I do believe at the end of Revolution, you declined his offer to join the Remen, and his reaction was very telling.
See, what I'm thinking is after the match that I had, it wasn't the fact that he wanted me to out there inside so we could rule by champion by champion. I think he needed backup. I think in case that Yoshimatsu decides to do other damage, comes back full force, that he needed someone that knows Yoshimatsu at his best, other than him. Look at the people that surrounded Yoshimatsu. Most of them, there's only a couple that know exactly his strengths and weaknesses. Tom Hennigan, me. And then, the other people that know his strengths and weaknesses can't do much about it. Izanagi couldn't do much. He doesn't get involved with this type of stuff. Izanami, you can't get involved with this type of stuff. So I think it wasn't the fact that he needed a friend. He needed a backup. He needed someone that goes, if Yoshimatsu comes back like how he does, how he did last year with me, that's going to be worrying because that's not the Yoshimatsu. Everyone's going to be worried about how he comes back because last year he wasn't in his right mind. You had to suspend him because he wasn't
I do
right.
believe, yes, we suspended him for medical reasons, but also talking about the return of the OGS, Izanami, you feeling all right?
Yeah,
Stressing you out a bit?
just a little bit, yeah.
Well, why don't you step off a little bit if you need to, go sit on the couch or something and relax if you need to. I can take it over from here if you need it.
Ah, so good. Just business
I think
related.
I think all the talk from Yoshi and Izanagi has kind of stressed her out a little bit. Obviously, the spiritual pressure is keeping her a bit grounded. But ladies and gentlemen, we've got some more to talk about. Obviously, Jay, if you'd like, you can join us, help us read out the card. Thank you for joining us as well again. It's been a wonderful time to speak to you. Obviously, we have an idea of what Yoshi's motives are and what Hennigan's motives are. I'm actually getting this now that Yoshi's actually not scheduled for the event. Now, let's actually go into that. That does remind me. The elbow injury. How the hell did the man injure his elbow, come back fighting one-armed, and take down both men? What are your
The
theories?
thing is, it's not a theory. It's the truth. Yoshimatsu has, well, my theory, he's taken a page out of Arashi's book. Not Izanagi's, Arashi's book. He's covered himself in anger, in rage, in frustration. He did that himself.
But the way
Now,
he seems now, I'm sorry to interrupt you again. The way he seemed when he returned with the face paint, the controlled anger, the measured rage, do you think it's a different OGS than what we saw last year?
it's 100% a different OGS, and that's my point. He's taken a page out of Arashi and Izanagi's book. He's taken a page out of the two books. Yes, his rage is justified, his anger is justified, but also he needs to be leveled with the battle that is up ahead. Because, yes, he came back and helped me out. I decided to forgive him. I said to Tom Bryce ages ago, if he comes back and he comes back like this, I will be by his side. He is my brother in arms. But he's got a long way to ask for forgiveness from Izanagi and everyone else on the roster that he's destroyed and he's hurt. And he's not going to do that by just brutalizing his way to the top now. Look at what he's done the last few weeks. Targeted attacks, not attacking the people all at once, targeting attacks. And then he's explained what's going on after that. Not just attacked and left and not, no. Come back and give an explanation on what's going on.
Indeed, I do believe you've got great points in regards to Yoshi and the OGS turn and his one-arm fighting style. Do you think it's going to be enough to potentially take on Tom? You know, if this is his goal, do you think he's going to be able to do it? I mean, it doesn't really look like he's capable. I mean, he did fight off two people, but let's be honest, it's Hennigan.
Let's let's just step back and think for a second. He's been my teacher since the start. If he's anything like how he was last year, but this year and contained, I think he has a decent chance to stand and fight. All he needs to do, and I told him this the other week, is to not let himself into the anger. I've done that before. I've let myself into the anger. I let myself into the anger when last year when I was supposed to be Shogun. And look at how that turned out. He is more than capable to take on Tom. Now, win? I don't think so. But coming up, win or lose, if he does face Tom in the near future, he's not going to give up. He's not going to go, all right, you've beaten me. Here's the prize, whatever. We've seen it before. We've seen it. Ace Reed bet him. He didn't just, all right, here you go. I'll give you whatever you want. No, he went after Ace again. There is ton of views, people that he's challenged, he's actually lost to, that he's come back later down the road going, this needs to be how I end this story. So I think that's what it is. If he wins, good on him. That's straight up. But if he loses, now let's think of it like this. Tom Hennigan is showing signs that he's never shown before. He's becoming unpredictable. His next move, no one's going to see. You know, he 1 minute he's this happy, Hellraiser, and next minute he's doing stuff that using urns as weapons.
Yeah.
But this is a Yoshi Matsumatsu that I've trained with, I've fought with. He got himself into the tournament. He is also becoming unpredictable. He's becoming someone that is rocking up after 4 months with what possibly could be new techniques, new training. He could have damaged his arm, say, 3 months ago, 2 months ago, and learned to train.
Indeed. I think that's a really good insight, Jay. You've obviously known him the longest. I've known him about just as long, but I guess only time can really tell, until someone's really ready to show what they're capable of. And I guess we're going to find out very soon. You know, obviously it's that time of month. The announcement will be made soon by Hideo Utai. Ladies and gentlemen, while we've got Jay Ryan here, we're just under an hour from
This chair, man.
Open Doors launching live. Jay's got to head off soon. Obviously, the show is about to begin. We've got about just under an hour until the show starts. Let's thank you, Jay, for coming along. Thank you for being a part of this. Good luck with your match tonight. We sincerely hope you win. Bring it home for XERO. And thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Thank you so much. Now, can I want to ask the fans one thing. One question. What would you do if this was your position? Everyone's like Yoshimatsuda did what he did in the past. I want you to look at it. What if this was your significant other? What if this was your person on the other side of it? Think about that. Instead of treating people like the enemy, think about their side. That's all I've got to say.
Well, thank you, Jay. Very much appreciated you coming along. Feel free to stay in the backstage area, get yourself ready for the match. And good luck, champ. We wish you the best.
Good luck.
Thank you so much. See you
Take
later.
it easy, man. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the Wrestling XERO champion, Jay Ryan, in what will be his final match in the company's history. Pardon me again. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, but we're moving on tonight's show with a banger. Now, Izanami, do we make the announcement or do we kind of let him wait a little bit?
I reckon both sounds fun, but I reckon let him wait a little bit. If I stop sticking through this chair, things will be easier.
Well, let's open up the show with a banger tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, Red Wonder will take on the Missing Boy in what will be an interesting contest. You know, you've got BWDU's own, the Missing Boy, a mysterious warrior who came from, I don't know, God knows where.
I was about to say, I haven't seen this character before. This is all new to me. How much have I missed, being God and all?
Well, I believe this is going to be an interesting test of will for Red Wonder, and obviously Red Wonder being a CSW original, the current CSW World Champion, is going to take on BWDU's own, the Missing Boy, and represent XERO. Now, next on the card, let's talk about a match that people have been waiting for, and unexpected. Ultimos will clash with Echo. The BWDU Territorial Championship is on the line. Echo will have to defend his title against Wrestling XERO's own high-flying OG. Now, Ultimos has been on a losing streak as of recent. He's been forced to cover all bases, cover all back-and-forth moments for him to be able to get this opportunity. He pleaded with Utai, he pleaded with me, and we gave him this opportunity. Thank you to BWDU management, Yoshimatsu Matsuda, for giving us this match. Now, that's an interesting situation. Yoshi's the GM of BWDU. So he's kind of playing both sides. He's like Emperor Palpatine, I guess, kind of puppeteering it all. But this match is happening, ladies and gentlemen. BWDU territorial title. Echo defends against Ultimos in the second match of tonight's card. And then we go to our third match. The match everyone's been waiting for. I mean, this man won a match against an incredible competitor, Lance Marlew. The Shadow Nate Ryan took on Lance Marlew in a unification match for the PXW YouTube title and the Sports Wire Championship. And now, thanks to that win, he cemented himself in this match. Now, Nate is now the unified digital media champion. And Nate will represent Wrestling XERO going on against BWDU's own Wired Up podcast champion, Alex Dakota. Now, Alex Dakota is an incredible competitor. I've watched him compete. We got to see Alex Dakota at Revolution, an incredible star and an amazing person. I cannot wait to see what this talent brings to BWDU's side tonight, and hopefully Zero can bring out a point. You'd never underestimate Nate Ryan, but I'm not going to underestimate Alex Dakota either. So this is going to be a really interesting one. This has been the second most talked about contest. I'm really eager to see what happens. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the second last match on tonight's card. This is a rematch from Thunder. This was a match that I think Robbie really deserved. Lionheart Robbie Ryan will clash against Wrestling Zero national champion King Chaos and one half of the tag team champions representing BWDU, and Robbie representing his home ground in Zero. It's going to be for the Wrestling Zero national championship. All the stakes are on the line for Robbie Ryan. The question is, can Robbie deliver? Can he bring the gold home to Wrestling Zero and earn us 2 points? Now, with the rules, a win in a match is 1 point for your brand. If you bring home a championship, if you win a championship, it's an extra point on top of that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the decider, I believe, in this contest. Obviously, you've got 3 matches before. You've got this one, and then you've got the main event. I think this is going to be a really big match. It's going to be make or break. It will really decide if BWDU or Zero is going to take the victory. And obviously, ladies and gentlemen, our main event, Ace Reed will take on the Prince of Destruction, Jay Ryan, in what will be an incredible final match. Wrestling Zero title is on the line. BWDU represented by Ace Reed, the homestay of BWDU, an industry legend who has really pushed his ass to the top of the game. He's tangled with guys like Ashak, tangled with Stryker, he's tangled with Yoshi, he's even faced Tom Hennigan. This is a man you don't want to miss. And it'll decide, will Ace Reed take out the victory and take the belt home to BWDU and win it for the brand? Or will Jay Ryan pull out another underdog victory and retain the title and retire champion? The question's up here tonight at Wrestling Zero and BWDU Open Doors. Now, ladies and gentlemen, while we've got some time and we're waiting for our next guests, I'd like to talk about our sponsors. Sportswire Radio. Tom Bryce is our commissioner of Thunder under Hideo Utai. And obviously you've got Izanami, the head of PXW. You've also got a slew of other characters on our roster. But Sportswire Radio, well, if I move out of the way, I can point to it. There in the corner, Sportswire Radio. Yep, Tom Bryce's platform that has given us so much exposure over the past year and a half. I'd like to thank Tom Bryce for this opportunity, helping bring Zero to a wider audience. Without your platform, we wouldn't be here. So that's our official thanks to one of our grand sponsors. And ladies and gentlemen, our other sponsor, Dubby, the energy drink to be better.
If I can see, if I can move, there.
Yep. Use code WrestlingZero for 10% off at checkout. It's actually really good stuff. Yoshi's told us so much about it.
I've never had it before. So.
Well, Wrestling Zero and BWD are both sponsored by Dubby, so it's a really good moment for tonight especially. And ladies and gentlemen, we are sponsored also by our parent company, Battleground Holdings. Owner Hideo Utai is our director. He is also the owner of the Battle Force promotion, where you see our stars fight it out in a legitimate environment. I cannot wait to see what tonight brings. It's going to be interesting, Izanami. There's a lot of things that people are going to question. There's a lot of things that people are going to have answers for. Yeah. And I really think this is the time for people to really see what we're made of. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost just under an hour away from the show beginning. The stars are getting themselves ready from what I believe. We've obviously talked to Jay Ryan. We've talked Wrestling Zero. We've talked so much more. I have been so thankful for everyone coming in tonight, and it has been amazing. So while we've got some time, let us reflect on everything that has happened over the past few months here in Wrestling Zero. Now, I'm going to play some clips. I'm going to talk about, obviously, what's been happening in detail about what will be one of the greatest shows, I think, in the history of the company. Obviously, there's a lot of things people are going to question, but it's now your time to speak. The next generation rises when the others fall. This is your chance to have your voice here at Wrestling Zero. This is where everything changes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the draft obviously was a really big moment in our company's history. Obviously, really set the notion for what would be an incredible night to remember. And I think a lot of people are going to look back on this show and be like, well, there's a lot more we can do with this. So, ladies and gentlemen, while we're here, I'm going to bring it up. We're going to talk the show. We're going to talk everything. Let's remove Ace Reed from this. Let's add the match to the page, the show, and we'll watch through it and talk. So obviously, this is Jay's big pipe bomb promo that he dropped on a certain butt crack that we don't mention anymore. Certain someone has been released officially from Wrestling Zero due to external circumstances.
Yeah.
Very serious allegations were made against one of our stars, and Wrestling Zero wants to assure you that we take a zero tolerance approach towards violence of any kind outside the ring. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Jay had to be censored for this, but we gave him the floor to speak his mind and really give him a chance to prove why he really is one of the best. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting to that point in the night where we're getting ready for our guests to come in. I do believe we've got Ace Reed on the card. If you want to make sure Ace Reed's ready for that. We also might have King Chaos. We also might have Robbie Ryan. I do believe there's a few stars that are waiting for their chance.
He's currently not available right now, but he should be hopefully be able to join later on. But
well, I hope Ace shows up, because it'll be very interesting to hear from the challenger tonight and see what he has to say about.
But he does apologize on behalf.
Well, that's fine. I mean, Ace Reed said enough. He's gearing up for what will be a big match of his career, ladies and gentlemen. He's gunning for the Wrestling Zero Championship, and obviously, here Jay's just speaking his mind. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Your brother actually interrupted it and said War Games for some reason.
Oh.
But let's talk about the picks. I mean, let's get to the draft. I mean, it was actually a really interesting draft. I mean, when I knew I was taking over Stampede, I was trying to be strategic in how I drafted everyone, and I think I was a bit confused because I wasn't the first pick. I didn't get to pick first, so it looks like Hideo and stuff picked first. Tom Bryce picked first, and they made a really good choice. Not gonna lie, they really showed that they were gunning for this. The champion was drafted to stay with Thunder, and it's really incredible to see. Jay actually got that opportunity to step in and show himself. So I'm excited to see what Jay will do post Wrestling Zero. I think there'll be a lot that he's got to prove outside the ring. Let's hope he, enjoys his retirement and he sits back and relaxes for once. He's been the backbone of Wrestling Zero for a long time.
That is true.
It's time for him to step back and let his body recover, however much he can. And ladies and gentlemen, well, let's talk about this. Fucking Unga, my brother, was drafted as number 2 pick for some
Don't ask me.
earthly reason. I bet you it was your brother.
Probably because
He must have snuck into the pick room and drew the name out of the hat on purpose. He has a soft spot for Unga, even though Unga did what he did. We'll get to that in a moment, but let's look back on this. I mean, the draft was pretty full on. I mean, me and Conigal were in disbelief at some of the picks. Number 3 were, well, I picked this one. I had to. World Heavyweight Championship needed to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Couldn't go to Stampede. Couldn't go to Thunder, so I was going to Stampede. I'm very stressed at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize. It is getting to that time of night where we're almost ready to go live without PLE. The first ever live event in Wrestling Zero history, where you fans will be able to rile up. We're premiering that later. Ladies and gentlemen, it is insane that Ace Ray got drafted to PXW. That was an amazing pick, by the way, Izanami. Incredible work. That was a shocker. Real shocker. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we are just under an hour away from Wrestling Zero BWDU Open Doors airing. Our stars are getting ready from what I believe. Everyone's in the arena getting ready. And let's talk about Malu versus... This was the match that made the Nate Ryan match against Alex Dakota happen. Nate just bodied it. And Malu gave him a good fight, too, for what I believe. We'll be able to see in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, the absolute amazing contest that these men put on. They put on a clinic, and I'm telling you, by clinic, I mean a clinic. We're actually going to let you watch this, ladies and gentlemen, with audio.
And not just that.
As we go silent.
Neither of them have been drafted, so those 2 titles could be going anywhere on the roster.
Exactly, and ladies and gentlemen, it is time for this match to begin.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. For the first ever time, I'm going to start the intro. Now, I am Jake Carnigal.
Introduced ourselves at the start of the show, you spastic. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the unification match.
Oh god, I'm sorry.
As put in by us for the draft, ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestling Zero Sports-Wide champion, Nate Ryan, is on the way to the ring in an amazing match. It's going to be the Sports-Wire Championship and the PXW YouTube Championship on the line in a unification match.
Well, this is going to be very interesting. Sorry if I say some shit. I'm pretty tired, but this should be a great match. For the first time ever,
Indeed.
we are going to unify both the titles.
Winner takes home all belts.
Now,
And his opponent, the PXW YouTube champion. Now this man.
Lance Malu.
Let's talk about Malu though. You know, Ryan's back. You know, he's been Sports-Wide champion for a bit. Malu come back, won the YouTube belt, and now he's...
Now, here's the interesting part. 2 men walking with 2 titles. At the end of this, it will be 1 man walking out with both.
It'll be a one champion deal, you know. And winner takes all in this contest, and right before our big PLE as well.
Yeah, which is Open Doors.
Yeah, it got announced recently on Instagram, and Malu, the chosen one, the PXW YouTube champion, has had 2 banger matches so far.
So here's the thing about this, that because of this title being on the line, and it being 2 titles, it's going to make Open Doors pretty interesting on...
To say the least, yeah, the winner will take on the Wired Up champion from BWDU at Open Doors. So whoever wins this match is representing Wrestling Zero with both digital media belts. And ladies and gentlemen, both belts are on the line. I'm excited to see this big match.
Now this is going to be very, very interesting. Now we've got some stuff to talk about through the show, obviously. Excuse the crash out at the start of the show. With
We
Jay.
had to kind of fuck up programming there with the censor button. Had to
Unger,
borrow Tom Bryce's button there.
Unger kind of just gave him the mic and said, well, go say whatever you
Well,
want.
I didn't know he was going to swear, but I mean, it happened, and yeah, ladies and gentlemen, both belts are on the line. Winner take all right now. And there's Malu with his hat throw. Both belts are on the line. This is going to be either way. Both men are going to have their first reigns with one championship.
I mean, yeah. This is going to be very interesting, including that Nate got the title by giving it to him, handed it to him.
Well, you know, Nate deserves it at this point. He's worked his ass off. And, whoop, there we go. Match is underway. Collar elbow to start things off.
Oh, wait. Oh.
Lance pushing
Test
down with
the
that strength. Yep.
Test the strength. Oh.
No, into the
Nate's
corner.
Pushing him back.
Ryan with the Irish whip into a midsection lariat.
Oh.
But no, Marlowe gets hit again.
Another one. Getting up one more time. Shoulder tackle.
And another
Nice
one for
shoulder
good
tackles.
measure.
Went will not
Wait,
stay.
oh,
Oh, drop kick.
Marlowe's been wrecked from the start, and Nate Ryan with those offensive strikes.
Oh, just striking him down. Now, 1, 2.
Kick out at 2.
This is going to be... Oh. And is he doing the nut bush?
I think he's doing the nut bush. Nate Ryan doing the nut bush on Lance Marlowe into a leg drop.
Ankle.
Leg lock. Well, it was a leg drop, leg lock. We gotta give him credit. He did hit a leg drop on that.
Yeah. Will he tap?
No, Marlowe won't tap it. With the dragon leg lock, you know, ankle lock thingy. We kind of just like, yep.
Yeah, gets out of it.
Breaks it.
At this point, we're just waiting on to see, well, what's the next move for both of them. And
oh, elbow strikes from and knees from Nate Ryan getting Marlowe.
Just taking that
Throws Marlowe into the corner. Nate Ryan's going for it. Senton.
Right in the corner.
Catches him good as well, ladies and gentlemen. We're watching this. And he's in the corner. Runs it into a drop kick.
Drop kick into the corner.
Man, this is insane. Nate Ryan pulling out all the stops for this championship match. Now, ladies and gentlemen, again, the winner of this match will go on to have both belts. One, two, kick out from Marlowe, and just in time. Winner will win both championships. Then go on to face the wide-up champion at Open Doors. And misses the Big Bang elbow drop.
Oh, but hang on a second.
Marlow's in the corner. He's going to hit it. We know what this is. Marlowe in the corner, meaning we're going to see a spear.
Oh.
Marlowe goes for it, ducks him. Going for a spear for good measure. Marlow's into the corner. Marlow's going to hit it.
Oh,
the fist
here we
is
go.
cocked into the ground.
Ready? And
There he goes. Superman punch.
Fist. I get confused some days.
Well, you know, different universes and shit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see it. Marlowe, desperate for it. Pinfall. One. Kick out in time from Nate Ryan. Ryan kicked out at 1.9. Marlowe couldn't get the job done. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this is for both championships. Winner goes home with both belts and will represent XERO against BWDU against the wide-up champion from BWDU at Open Doors.
Now,
No. Both men are getting to their feet. But Nate's up first and Marlow's struggling.
hang on a second.
Nate has got the advantage. And now gets caught.
No.
Brings him.
Hang on.
No, he's got him in the guillotine. Now he's going for it. Final Revenger. Ladies and gentlemen, pinfall for the titles. 1, 2. Nate catches the rope just in time.
Jesus.
Lance was going to be new champion right there.
Great ring awareness by Nate.
Amazing ring awareness. The fact that he knew he was close to the ropes and he used the last of his strength to reach up.
Now,
both men have absolutely torn up the ring this opening match of the draft.
This is interesting. This is
Well, our
this
picks
match
are
hasn't-
already selected. This is just kind of a showcase.
This match had what? How long has it been since these two have
Well,
gone face to face?
DDT from Nate Ryan out of nowhere. The first time they faced, I think.
Oh. And wait, hang on.
Wait.
Elbow
Elbow
drop.
drop. He hit it. Had the big bang there.
Oh, wait, hang on a second.
Nate's back up, meaning he's going to go for the boom leg drop.
Is this it?
This is it. Pitfall for the titles.
2, 3.
New
Oh
champion.
my God. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nate Ryan takes out both belts to start off the show.
No. Sports Wire.
No, still Sports Wire, a new PXW YouTube champion. The Unified Digital Media Champion.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is insane. The new Unified Digital Media Champion, Nate Ryan. And Malu's giving him a show of support.
Show of respect.
Raises his arms, and ladies and gentlemen, still the Wrestling Zero Sports Wire Champion, a new PXW champion.
And that was the moment that it happened,
Nate Ryan.
ladies and
That's insane, ladies and
gentlemen.
gentlemen. What a way to start the show. I cannot wait.
We saw what was Nate Ryan's amazing win to solidify himself in the match against Alex Dakota tonight. An incredible match between him and Malu, an absolute instant classic. One of the matches that I've really enjoyed commentating and watching. And ladies and gentlemen, well, let's go to the next draft picks. I mean, this draft was insane. Izanami's just taking a call from Hideo, all business and stuff. We're just currently dealing with some backstage situations. So we'll be back in a moment. You guys can check the draft picks. Nizanami's back from dealing with
Just
Hideo.
saying, he is getting very annoying.
Hey, look, it's the boss. We gotta respect it. Well, Robbie went to Stampede. That was a good pick on my part. Hopefully soon we'll be able to talk to the man himself, the national champion, King Chaos. But if King Chaos can't make it, we'll speak to Robbie.
Yeah.
But we'll find out soon. We're just waiting for confirmation. The boys are all hard at work. And King Chaos was drafted to Thunder, which was an incredible pick by the boys over at Thunder. Tom Bryson, Hideo Utai. Incredible managers. They are just wonderful at what they do.
Hey, Anga, are you aware the screen's still sharing?
Oh, yeah, no. I know it's sharing. It's sharing the show, so it's all good. I made sure that our StreamYard was set perfectly. I'm meticulous when it comes to that type of detail. And you guys over at PXW, I do believe you had a real interesting pick for this one. Alex Dakota, who's competing tonight against Nate Ryan, is going to PXW. Now, I didn't even know BWDU guys were even in the draft, but apparently they are, so...
This is the first time I'm hearing of this character, so it's just a surprise to me not to do to you.
Must have been an Izanagi pick. I mean, you and Izanagi are pretty much synonymous with each other, so at this point, any pick he makes is your pick. It was an incredible pick. I think Alex Dakota is going to kill it on PXW, and tonight even, taking on the points for BWDU if he wins. This was an interesting match, Jay. First of his last 4 appearances. I mean, I do believe this is the match he did have something happen. But we're going to watch through this match, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to, talk about the points that were made during this match. I'm going to bring the audio back for this.
Tonight.
So obviously the champ himself showed up.
Zero Champions on his way out to address the open challenge we set for him tonight.
So
I have a question.
we made a decision for an open challenge,
champion
through.
versus champion. Who's Jay got?
Well, I can definitely tell you it's not going to be a champion from BWDU, especially when that person's not going to show
Gosh,
up.
I forgot who Mr. Opponent
So,
is,
ladies
to
and
be
gentlemen,
honest.
well,
I
got a
remember.
match at Open
And
Doors that we will announce soon.
again, open doors. We're
It's a
literally
big
talking
money
about
one,
that now,
but
ladies and
just
gentlemen.
wait for it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Jay is obviously feeling the effects of the Open challenges. He's more than proved himself.
And, we got to that point and we saw it. His surprise challenger was none other than an unexpected face that hadn't been seen before. Apparently, there are other gods around, which I think you guys need to explain better because.
Honestly, yeah, I had no idea how many gods were around.
How many pantheons do we have? Because at this point, I thought it was only you, Kami, that made the world, but apparently this guy's a god of death in Egypt. I don't even know where.
Oh.
Wait, no, Egypt's in the other place.
I know who he is.
Or is it god of death or the guy that weighs the hearts? I don't know. I don't know anything
You
about
don't want to
Egypt.
know what he does for a living?
Oh. Well, he looks like a normal dude. Wasn't he meant to have a dog head or something?
No, it's not normal.
Or is it a god in a mortal's body as usual? The Jackal Anubis. So Anubis showed up at Zero to challenge Jay Ryan for the Wrestling Zero Championship and got dog walked. Like, I'm talking dog walked, man.
He's very strong.
He's not that strong. I mean, he got dog walked by Jay Ryan.
Well, that's
We haven't
what
seen
someone
him
put him
since
in.
the PXW, the Thunder post-match assault.
As long as he's put in his place by one of our main people, I'm happy about it.
Well, I mean, apparently they've all been suspended, so
Oh.
except for Unger. He's been redirected, quote unquote, redirected onto more positive avenues. I think that's the most positive way of saying he got yeeted back to refereeing for a while.
You can say that.
But, Anubis showed up and said he wants his soul, but I'm trying to understand. I know a little bit about Egyptian history. Wasn't it Amet was the god of dead and he ate the souls?
Yeah.
Not Anubis. Anubis is just a guide that weighs the hearts. So I'm trying to understand the whole go here. Anubis isn't really an evil god, so I'm trying to understand why how did my brain think about this god stuff?
I don't know.
You gods make no sense to us mortals. We're just very weird to you. But Unger showed up, apparently, and this was the moment that everything went south for Jay after the match. But we'll get to that in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the Wrestling Zero Championship match that set all of this in motion for Open Doors. I believe this was the thing that set everything all over the place. But interesting referee work from Unger. Just a powerful push. If I do pass out, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize. I have slept nothing at all today. I've been busy planning the show.
I have told you so many times to get some sleep when you can.
Well, I'm sorry, Izanami. Sometimes things just don't go the way we plan them. But yeah, Izanami, if you want to commentate this, I'll just doze off for a minute.
I don't know what to commentate.
Man, why am I always stuck with the weird ones?
Hey, I'm usually just a helping guide. I don't usually come on to this, and you know that for a fact.
Very true, very true. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an interesting dynamic tonight. Me and Izanami are opening up Open Doors. We're just under 30 minutes away from what will be the biggest show in the industry and in the country's history. You're about to see the biggest collab event since Worlds Collide, since anything. This is an insane show. Stacked card tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But while we're here, we're talking Anubis' appearance on Stampede.
in Jay's first open challenge since becoming champion, of the new era, the draft era, and he really did well. I mean, Jay was really dog walking Anubis, really proving that even gods are just not on his level. I mean, he is a kami himself now, so at
Yeah.
this point, it makes sense that he's dog walking Anubis, because I believe Anubis is is not a major god;
No,
he's
it's
a
not.
minor god.
Yeah, he's not
He's a
as
minor
big.
deity, which means, you know, Arashi being a major kami, the power of spiritual pressure is completely out of sorts. I mean, Anubis has probably got a level of what, 9.3 quintillion,
You can
and
say that. I'm not really sure. I don't really
Arashi's
communicate with
got a
him.
Arashi's got a power of probably what, 600 dexillion. At this point, the numbers don't make sense. I mean,
What?
Izanagi is reality busting. So was Arashi. So at this point, J. Ryan could rip a hole in the universe just by farting.
With all honesty, I don't really talk. He's one of the guys I don't really communicate with. He's just.
But that's your brother, isn't
I
it?
don't know.
I don't know the whole situation with you, Kami. I've just watched and observed and spoken. I mean, I haven't wrestled since what, season? I haven't wrestled since Final Showdown where we lost the tag titles. That title opportunity. That's really pathetic, not gonna lie. On our end.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really. It was not really your fault, though.
Well, I mean, it was fun while it lasted. That was the last time I wrestled. Now I'm just ridiculed just sitting here during matches, talking into a screen. I want to come back to the ring. When can Songerton, Bungerton, Bundaberg come back? Everyone hashtag we want Bungerton.
You have to talk to the main person. You have to talk to the main for that.
Well, Hideo, while I'm commissioner, I will not wrestle, I promise. Well, ladies and gentlemen, while you're here, go give us a sub. We really appreciate it if you could support us in this goal to reach the world. We're not talking about subscribers, we're talking about no numbers, we're talking about real fan support. If you like what we're doing, you want to be a part of it, subscribe today, click that little
Notification bell.
yeah, that thing, and come support Wrestling Zero and what we do.
And some likes would be nice too. If you like it or not.
Likes are irrelevant now. I think Yoshi's more of an expert on social media, so yeah. He's an ancient warlord at this point. And I'm a 4.5 billion year old monkey. And I have.
That come out of someone's fridge.
I didn't come out of the fridge. I was one of the. I'm Unga Bunga the third. I'm one of the first Unga iterations. The first one's just. Yeah. I can't believe I'm the younger brother of Unga 1, but the Unga. I give up. I'm just like, let's do this. Let's watch. And I mean, Jay was, again, dog walking them, and then Unga turned, and Jay was just dog walking. I mean, you can't really H-bomb to the head, I mean. That would have been enough to knock out any normal guy, and Anubis got straight back up after that H-bomb, and Unga was clean out.
I don't know what happened, but I don't know why he sleeps a lot on the ring. He meant to be referee.
Well, I mean, Unga's got the ability to, we Ungas have got the ability to be special, but I think these short-haired versions, I call them the short-haired Ungas because they're not like me with my majestic mane. The short-hair Ungas are a bit, their intelligence isn't great. Their brain's the size of a peanut. And their obsession is bananas, Tom Cruise movies, and that one chick flick from 2009.
And decide to take over the crew when no one.
Oh yeah, alcohol just ruins them. They set fires to everything. Even
Tell me about it.
The amount of fire I saw today. I'm surprised our grounds are still standing. It's wonderful to know. that we've got proper things to look after us.
With how much of that fire I got in trouble for when it wasn't my duty to deal with that.
Well, I
It's
mean,
not fun.
Anubis knocked him the hell out, and so did Unga. Jay was laid down on his... No, Jay had his legs up. Lays down, I can't believe it. He's being decimated by both of them. Now they're celebrating. But Jay brought a fight back that we know him for. I mean, that's insane. Just watching your brother in a civilian look, in a head look. Yep, now we're talking about it. Jay Ryan pulled out a miracle victory against Anubis, and you can really see the struggle on Jay's face. He's done with the situation. He wanted out very quickly. And it was good to know that he got out of there when he could, because what happened next was just pure cinema. Ah,
Why is
chef's
Unga
kiss.
lying on the other wrestler?
Because Unga just got a pinfall victory over Anubis, which makes a well, Jay's confused as well. I don't even think he comes in any of that. But we're watching the tapes back, and you can see Jay Ryan really pushing as hard as he could. And it's good to see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching this. I don't know how. I'm just watching in silence, ladies and gentlemen. It's just brutal what they did to him.
What's going on now? What have I missed out on?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that shaking hands, or trying to. I believe Unga's just going behind. Well, and there we go. Unga's turned his back on everything that we thought he stood for. Absolutely disgusting tactics from Unga Bunga. I don't even think he could survive after that. It's brutal.
I didn't even know Unga could fight and wrestle, to be honest.
Well, I mean, Unga's just apparently magically grabbed the belt and...
Dude, you passed out again.
Oh yeah, it'll be the spiritual pressure from Unga's assaults. You see, Unga's been doing this to us the whole time. We all are connected by one giant peanut-sized brain. And sometimes when Unga's doing dark stuff, and he docked it. I mean, let's talk about, that Rivet Javelin saved himself. I mean, it was incredible to see. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's getting to that time of night where the show must go on. I don't think we're going to hear many from our guests tonight because they've been so busy working hard, stretching and training for you guys tonight. I think it's time that we pass over to your broadcast team tonight for Wrestling Zero Open Doors, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get this sorted. We're going to make this an instant premiere. If you guys want to head on over, it'll be on the channel. Get ready to watch Open Doors. It premieres now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being a part of this. We'll see you next time.